guys, welcome back to Digaritana. My name is Abby, and today we're doing the weekly chakra healing video. So for this week, we're gonna keep it short and sweet, but there's a lot of stuff going on this week, especially with the full moon in Libra. There is a sense of balance, yes, that's happening, but there's kind of just, I feel like ultimately balance is the word, but it's more like there's a need to check yourself this week, to kind of hold the mirror and really look at yourself and be like, okay, well, this is wrong, this is right, like what am I doing, how is this benefiting me? This is like levels of nonsense that needs to be like peeled off like an onion, because the ego is still taking a huge toll on your inability to do something. So it's just like kind of a hot mess, but we're going to talk about it. So for the root chakra, the blockage is death and the ace of cups, which is just, it's kind of like the universe is saying, hey, we told you 1,000 times that you're going to have exactly what you want, but you need to release this first in order to get what you want. But you're just not accepting that. Like, you don't want to accept that it's, whether it's a new opportunity, a new like person, whatever the case may be, you just do not want to accept. Like, this just a stubbornness about it. It's almost like you were hell-bent in having exactly what you wanted with the exact person in the exact moment, what have you. I don't know why. Oh yes, I do have the records open, by the way. I don't know why I'm getting the message that some people are kind of watching other people get engaged this week. There's something kind of about partnership, and I'm not really surprised because the Libra full moon would be bringing that on, but somebody's getting engaged and somebody's kind of pissed about it, like a lot. They wanted that ace, they wanted that kind of fairy tale, they wanted to have that relationship with that person, they wanted to do all of these things, and now that they cannot have this person, they're just really frustrated, but they can't let it go. With death here, they just can't let it go. There's a lot of Scorpio energy. When the moon moves into Scorpio, it might actually help a little bit to transition that, like to change or maybe transmute that, because that is the best way to heal it this week. We have the Page of Coins and the Seven of Cups, and the Page of Coins is asking you to plant a new seed in your root chakra, to solidify yourself somewhere new, to dream bigger, to be less restrictive, to try to stop confusing yourself and stop like putting yourself in this box emotionally, where you think you need to be, and just go with the flow, and try to just catch your wave and really stay on your wave, because right now it's like you're drowning because everything's not working the way you wanted it to. So it's just like, hey, you need to be more open, you need to dream wider, your emotions need to flow. You try not to restrict your ocean. Like, don't do that, because then you're just gonna like end up going crazy and then come up on land like a giant goddamn freaking tsunami. Like, don't try to restrict yourself. It's just not gonna work. It's really important to give yourself space, emotional space. Like, if you need to cry, if you need to some people do need to do a spiritual bath this week. There needs to be a cleanse. It would be a great time to do it during the Libra moon, but there's just like a need to connect with water, with your body, with your emotions. But kind of just like, if you need to cry about it. Don't be ashamed that it didn't end up the way you wanted it to. Don't be mad at yourself, like frustrated, like, hey, it didn't work out and there was a lesson behind that, and ultimately that's the point. And that might get revealed as Saturn goes, like when Saturn retrogrades in Capricorn. You might actually realize why that you cannot ground yourself in whatever that thing was. But it's important for you to like make the moves that you need to do to move forward now, especially during Aries season, because we're about to kind of come out of it and go into Taurus season, and it's going to focus on what do you have. And if you're still fixated in what you didn't get, it's just like you're gonna be mad because you don't have it, but you need to focus on what you have and have pleasure within those things. So it's kind of like you're kind of gonna be caught in a weird loop, and it's for some of y'all, it's taking y'all way too long to get over this shit. I'm just gonna keep it 100. It's taking y'all way too long to get over this shit, whether it's a really strong connection, whatever the case may be. My Saturnian Capricornness, it's a very listen, especially because my Venus is in Aquarius, I have way too much Capricorn placements, Capricorn influence in my chart. So for me, I get over things very, very quickly, especially having Venus in a air sign. It's just kind of like, I've gotten over exes like this. Like, it's just because there's levels of, there's just things that I need to do. Like, I usually end up just getting excited about something else that I need to do, whether it's like I'm going on a trip or something, and I'll just start focusing on that, and I'll forget about whatever just happened. So there's kind of levels of how to release for each sign. For me, like, I just don't have enough time, and you guys know that I've said this so many times. Capricorns rule time, so I'm not gonna waste my time sulking. I'm just not. Now, some signs have a really hard time doing this. If you have Scorpio placements, I can see why. But however, Scorpios do need to get pushed into that Phoenix space in order to transform and do that rebirth process. But it doesn't feel good. It's kind of like, do you always constantly need to let yourself get torn apart and wrecked in order to transform, when you can just accept the transformation and flow into that Phoenix phase a little bit easier? These are the questions I ask y'all, because y'all know people say that Capricorns are like the Scorpios or of the earth signs, and it is true. But we kind of just, if it's kind of stopping the main goal of reaching the top of the mountain, we just gonna have to find a different way, and that's the whole point. There's other ways to climb this mountain, and if the mountain ultimately is love, there's ways, there's other mountains, my guys. Okay, it's like you guys keep getting wrecked by like different, I just keep seeing like different, like kind of like the earth just shaking you off and moving you back down into a different path, and you're just not taking it. Like, you're just snowboarding, you just see this avalanche, and you're just like, no, I'm gonna keep trying to come up, and it's just like, no, this is not the way, go that way, and you're just not listening. There's just like this weird kind of egotistical, no, I want it my way, and it's just like, no, that's not the mountain for you. Like, and this is why I get over people really easily. I can love very hard, but I get over people really easily. I get over situations very easily. It's just like, it's just too much time to give to that amount of negativity, to be honest with you. It's just not today. So with the root chakra, think bigger, and just pinpoint what the main goal is. If it's money, if it's career, if it's love, if it's family, whatever it is, make that the main goal, but keep that open. Okay? Now, for the sacral space, the blockage is the Sun, the High Priestess, and the Nine of Cups. And this message has been coming up for a while, where you guys are still waiting for something to come through, and it's almost like you're it's kind of gotten to the point where you're associating the message that you got from a reader to a specific person. So if they told you, oh yeah, this person's the person you're gonna marry, or this is the person, and it's just not working out that way, I would like to tell you that destiny is a funny thing, because there are many doors. I'm gonna tell you guys a story because I thought this was really funny. So my sister had come to my house the other day, and because we were FaceTiming, and she like lives upstairs, so we were FaceTiming, and I was like, oh, I'm about to finish this weed, the weed that I had left, because I had like a little bit left, and she's like, you got weed, I'm gonna go downstairs. Comes downstairs, and then we're just smoking, and then she before we like started smoking, she's like, oh yeah, I've been kind of like seeing people's past lives when I'm smoking recently. And I was like, it's so funny because that you're one, even smoking, period, because she would be the one that doesn't want to smoke or like be around people that are smoking, and it's really nitpicky about that. And she's like, yeah, they said that that's kind of one of my punishments. I have to, in order for me to access this, I have to be in another state. I have to be more relaxed and less restrictive. And I was just laughing. And she starts smoking 3 freaking puffs, and boom, she's in the records. However, I started realizing that my sister has a backdoor to the records, because she can kind of jump into people's lifetimes, one, without permission, just by looking at them, which is something that you can do. A lot of the time, if you've been in the records a lot, you can just look at someone and start kind of seeing where the trauma lies and how and the connections. However, it does take some time to get there. And also, however, my sister is very spiritual, has been very spiritual in many lifetimes, has done a lot of spiritual things. So I guess, because it also depends. It really goes into the amount of trust that the Lords of the Records have with you, as far as how you can access, what kind of doors you can open and things like that. With my sister, it comes off like very Gemini-ish, which is interesting because she does have some Gemini placements, but it's not her main. It's not her main. And it comes off as very Gemini-like. And she's had Geminis around her all her life, so there is that. But it comes off very Gemini-like, where she can just kind of go into places just out of curiosity. So for her, when she goes into the records, it was like she just starts opening doors, and she starts getting messages, and she starts talking to different deities and gods and goddesses and all these things and angels and stuff. And I'm just like sitting there like this is breaking all of the damn rules, like the restrictive rules that the earth places on people, because a lot of it, and being a Capricorn, we are very restrictive. And this is why hilariously, because weed is also ruled by cannabis is ruled by Saturn, so that's kind of like a funny way to unrestrict. But with her in life, without having like being high, she can be very restrictive, and she has these rules and stuff like that. But then when she gets high, she's able to open up all the goddamn realms and be like, okay, well, these are the doors. So then she just started telling me about all of these things that could possibly happen. She's like, there are many doors. If you choose this is what's gonna happen. If you choose that, this is gonna. She just started reading the hell out of me, and I'm just like, can you stop being in my goddamn thing? And it was just like, it didn't matter because I needed to hear the messages anyway. And there was a lot of things that came up, and this is really what you need to realize about this. And I say that story because of this type of situation. There are many doors, my guys. There are many doors. And I mean, I know there are many doors. Gemini is actually the sign, because there are the messengers that can access the possibilities like this. So when it comes to you're getting a reading and somebody's telling you, yeah, this person, this is what it like, this is what this energy is right now. This is what I'm reading right now. If things stay in this current scope. However, if there's like a quick because something happened that maybe you made a decision, small or big, that changed the trajectory of that, then that thing got just swerved this way, and now you're in a whole different ball game, because now it's like you got pushed into another door, and you didn't know that other door was gonna get rid of this. So there is kind of a level of, I'm still holding on to what they said because this was solidified, and that's what the reading said, and this is what the and it just, you haven't realized that there are multiple doors as you choose. This is like when you're playing a video. I don't know my people out there who play these type of video games. It's kind of like I want to say it's not like Halo. What's my best friend's favorite game? Mass Effect, where you have communications with people, but the way you answer them will change the story completely from how it could have been for somebody else if they answered it differently. It's kind of like that. Like that's pretty much, well, that's kind of what life is. But that is kind of how, like, your destiny, there is like a main focal point, but how you get there, it depends on how you play this game. The game of goddamn life. So for the situation where your ego and your whole will was completely pushed on to the situation, to this person, and now it's just like you're just not there, you're just like, no, but that's what I knew, that's what I felt, it was so strong, like all of these things. You picked, there's something that occurred that whether you didn't accept it, you didn't learn, because at the same time, if you're not caught up with yourself, then you're also not going to be in alignment to catch. It's almost like you have to be ready to catch the train as you go. So there's going to be stops where you have to do what you need to do, and then you have to get on the train and go to the next destination so you could go to your destiny. And if you miss the train even once and you have to wait for the other one, the whole trajectory changed, because that other train could have been going local, could have made you stop in different stops, because guess what? You didn't learn the lesson. You didn't do what you needed to do. There's just levels, and that's kind of what it is here. When she was just telling me, like, yeah, there's many doors. If you do this, this could happen. If you do this, this could happen. There's a possibility. Your main one right now, this is where it's going. But if you choose, there's other ways it can be played out. And I was just like, because those possibilities I've already seen. It was just confirmation, but it was interesting how, and I hadn't told her either about it, but it was just interesting how it was just playing out. And I was like, okay, so that's why that happened, and that's why that came to my, okay. So it's just more about really choosing you. Okay, and then the best way to heal that this week, you have strength. So there's a lot of Leo stuff and Leo energy and ego energy in our sacral space, because we have the sun coming out of the blockage, and then the answer, the solution being strength, which is that Leo energy. And then you have the 10 of cups. So this is really, and I'm getting the phrase love like a Leo, which is really beautiful. And everybody knows that Leos love very hard, because they love with their heart. I mean, it's your ego loving you. It's not anything else. Like, they love from their heart, because they're putting everything, every part of themselves, they're shining a light on it, and they're giving that to you. And it's kind of that you need to, if whatever the case may be, how it plays on moving forward, know that you need to love from your heart. You need to move from your heart. You need to not make your ego like work against you when it comes to what it is that you want in the long term. So if you're not satisfied, and I do see people who aren't satisfied and who were like told, oh yeah, it's gonna be like this great and all this stuff, that's because you haven't met that person yet. You haven't been in the situation yet. You just haven't gotten there yet. You missed a train. That's fine. You know, the universe is trying to catch you up, but you need to like do the work too. You need to decide, and when you decide is when shit starts to move. Blockage for the solar plexus, Ace of Wands in reverse, and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, right, because our root chakra is not we're just not grounded over there. And then the Ace of Wands, missed opportunities, missed that train. So the blockage with our willpower, because we're kind of stuck and we kind of like feel like we're catching up now, you need to kind of understand that your journey is your journey. This is why the healing looks like this. The Page of Wands with the Queen of, the Nine of Pentacles. There's a reason why it looks like this. And the reason why it looks like that is because you need to understand that even if you need to slow down to process you, to make yourself strong, to make yourself strong, this is why it looks like this. To make yourself strong, to make yourself feel good, you need to, in order for you to continue on your journey, you need to feel good. You need to be in a state where you feel good about your body, yourself, you feel like you're on your journey, whether it did get slow, a little bit more slowed down, whether you missed an opportunity, whether like, and I do see some people just missed an opportunity, whether it was work-wise, like they called down, they couldn't apply for this position, then somebody else got it, and all this stuff. There's a lot of stuff that went down that it's kind of like you're kind of frustrated about. But you need to understand that it's fine. It's your journey. If you feel like you missed a train, then you'll be frustrated that you missed a train. But if you go in it as in the train comes when I'm ready, then it's different. Because you have to be ready. You have to be ready to get even on, to know where you're going, to pick your direction, all these things. And that's kind of what it's about. You need to refocus your willpower, but also focus on your self-care. And this is why Leos are some of the most, again, I spoke about this on my Instagram, like their abilities are really beauty and power and strength. And a lot of people forget about the power part, and they focus on the beauty. But this is one of those times where you need to focus on the beauty, with the beauty within yourself, the how you feel about yourself, your self-care, your self-love, because that's what's gonna make you move. When you feel good, you're able to make proper decisions in directions of what you want to do long term. So just lots of self-care this week. It's a great time because of the Libra moon. It's the bougiest signs, I will always say it. Taurus, Leo, and Libra are like some of the most aesthetically bougiest signs. Pisces a little bit, but not more than those three are like the bougiest. And by bougie, I mean like they love to feel good, they love to look good, they like to be presentable to their point of view. Whatever it is, they have the greatest style, all the stuff. So it's just about doing whatever you need to do to make yourself feel good. So for my signs who don't necessarily need to like get dressed up, get their nails done, whatever it is. However you practice self-care is how it looks like, but you need to ultimately feel like this, like a fucking $1,000,000 basically. So for the heart chakra, what's blocking our heart chakra, we have the King of Wands with the Four of Wands, and I'm not surprised because we literally just talked about this situation. And it's like some of y'all really mad because some of y'all really felt like, yeah, there's like the one that got away type of energy in here, like where it's just like, I missed out, it was supposed to be them, whatever, there's just a lot of pain there, and it's just really frustrating. The best way to heal that, we have the Queen of Wands, the Nine of Swords, and the Eight of Cups. So it's really about redirecting your will energy, and letting go of whatever that situation was, and understanding how it's affecting your mental health, because at this point you're literally keeping yourself up at night about it. It's frustrating you, you're always pissed, it's just like it's a drag, like it just doesn't feel good, even though you're coming out as the Queen of Wands, and this is very like Oshun energy. This is like, you need to feel good, that pleasure, that love energy, that self-sensuality is where you need to head to. And in order for you to get there where you can be like that with yourself, you need to let this shit go, because it's taking up too much of your mind space. And breathe. That sentence was mad long. So for the throat chakra, we have the Wheel of Fortune, the Six of Pentacles, and the Six of Wands. And then so for the throat chakra, this is a lot of balance energy. This is also kind of a need to go with the flow. There's a lot of go with the flow, like go with the flow of how things are going. But because this is in the blockage, it's like you're not going in the flow of how things is going. It's like, this is part one, the universe pushes you to a new direction. This is part two, you actually do what you need to do to balance yourself out. This is part three, if you did what you need to do to balance yourself out and go with the universe in a new direction, you will be able to achieve success that you're looking for. But because that's not happening, you're not getting there, which is why it's in the blockage. So for the best way to heal that this week, we have the Three of Pentacles in reverse, the Star, and the Five of Swords. This combination of cards, what it's saying, especially with the throat chakra, is that you kind of have to accept that things are not, we're not able to be solidified in the way that you wanted them to for the long run. And for some people, this was a third-party situation. Like, it wasn't able to be rectified and able to be balanced between two people or whatever. But there was definitely a third-party situation happening. And it's just about understanding when you have to leave. Because in between these two cards, it's the Star. So that's the Aquarius energy. This is the journey. This is your wishes, your fulfillment, your higher purpose. And so it's just about understanding when to remove yourself from a situation because you're not meant to be there. In order for you to do that, you have to let go, and you have to release, and you have to move. You have to continue on your journey in order to achieve this amount of success that you want. For the third eye chakra, we have, Jesus, third eye chakra is a hot mess. We have the 10 of Wands, the 2 of Swords, and the 8 of Swords. So there is kind of just like a lack of not listening to yourself, not listening to your inner guidance, not wanting to. There's a stubbornness of the third eye, and the third eye really has to, it's almost like you're trying to force your eyes shut, and it's really like weird because it's actually working, but it's not a good thing that it's working because you're not able to get a lot of direction. So yeah, needs to stop doing that, please. Thank you. For how the best way to heal that, we have the 4 of Swords and the 5 of Wands in reverse. With the 4 of Swords, it's asking you to slow down. You're going to need to meditate this week. I do see some people doing some ancestor work, which is definitely needed. It came up in the crown chakra. But there is a need to just pause. Like, again, it's that kind of that self-care. Like, okay, let me just go back to me because I've been giving this way too much attention. And that's kind of what this is. Like, reevaluate where your passion, where you're putting your energy into, because that's taking a lot of time. For your third eye, it's not about fighting. It's not about a battle. It's not about continuing to be mad about it. Like, stop just relax, lay down, meditate, pray, do yoga. Some people need to get some Reiki. Some people need some energy healing, and just to kind of recalibrate their energy to something else. For the crown chakra, the blockage is the Devil, the Fool, and the Chariot. So we have 3 major arcanas in the crown space. With Capricorn energy, we got Cancer energy, this divine masculine and feminine, father, mother energy, very paternal energy in the crown space. So there is kind of a need to both work on your root chakra, like your lower chakras and your upper chakras this week. With the Fool, it's just really asking you to heave that Aries energy, because at this point, nobody got the time to kind of hold on to all of this toxicity. There's just so much stuff higher self-wise you have such a big purpose, and the fact that you're just not taking it, there's just so much major arcanas. Like, look, even the best way to heal that, we have the Tower and Judgment. There's just so many major arcanas, like in the Crown, like your higher self is like screaming at you, like, hey, focus on this, you need to do this instead, we can't be out here looking like this. So there is a need to kind of allow yourself, especially with your Uranus, to get yourself wrecked by the universe. Get wrecked by the universe. Accept the fact that you're getting wrecked by the universe. Accept the fact that this is gonna look like this. Allow yourself to not be completely 100% perfect all the time. It's not necessary. You need to let go. You need to be able to just kind of go with the flow. The ancestors are definitely there if you want to work with them, because at this point they've just been watching the show and they're just kind of they're just tired. They're like, hey, we're here for you whenever you're ready to kind of make some changes, do something else, for us to give you strength, for us to support you, whatever it is, provide you with some healing, some other opportunities that you actually need for your actual growth. Please hit us up, because we are up and ready for this call. So it's just, there's just a need to get yourself together. So it's just like, hey, can we please gather ourselves, please? Because they don't want you to struggle. You shouldn't be struggling. You shouldn't be struggling. This is why this is all in the blockage. It's like you don't want to start again, but you don't need to be struggling either. You don't. The Chariot is about success, winning, victory. And it's just like that cardinal, and there's too much cardinal energy asking you to move, to just really like pick a direction, even with the Devil, even with your shadow self. Like, it's your shadow self, your emotional state, everything. But that innocence that you get from the Fool, from just wanting something to change, something different, something new, that's what you need to do. That's what's going to trigger that. So definitely do that work this week. Bottom of the deck, not surprised, the King of Cups, the Queen of Swords, and the Emperor. Yes. So get it together, okay? That's literally the message of the day. We are going to pick a card from the Enchanted map, because I know y'all love this deck anyway, so we're gonna do that. Woo. If I ever make my own oracle deck, which eventually I will, one of the cards will be Get Your Shit Together. It's gonna be Get Your Shit Together, and trust me, I feel y'all, because it's been crazy on my end too, you know. There's a lot of stuff going on. So messages for this week. Messages for this week. I be getting attacked all the time. Let me tell ya. It ain't easy being me, because these cards just want to attack me. Okay. Yep, there it is. It's funny because there's a lot of messages, and there's a lot of messages from different people. I'm not going to read it for the book this time, because I have read these from the book. But we have one magical map shifter, and this is like that Seven of Cups energy, if you guys remember from earlier. Well, they look very similar. Yeah. The reason why it looks like that is because there is just like, you have to understand that this is the many doors situation. That magical map shifter is like it's like you're playing a gigantic ass board game, and how you roll, the moves you make, the decisions you make, if you're playing Monopoly, if you decided to build a house, if you decided to trade that piece to somebody else, like that has consequences, and it's just about understanding that things are shifting. We have Stuck in the Mud, which you guys know what it means. There's a lot of messages for different people, because there's also movement, and there's slow and steady. So it's about really understanding that as you come out from that mud, from being stuck, from feeling like you're in a situation that you thought you were going to be solidified in, there is going to be movement. There's going to be movement, but it's just not going to be as fast as you think it is, even in Aries season. For some of you, you got talisman, you need to work with some sacred tools in order to get yourself out of the funk, out of this energy. This includes like doing a spiritual bath, crystal magic, carrying something, whether it's for protection. I do recommend, as we go into Taurus season, definitely smoky quartz, because it is one of my favorite ones. Deflects the negative energy. And it actually, to me personally, as an earth sign, it's a very earthy stone, but as an earth sign, it keeps me a little bit numb. And I know that sounds like a bad thing, but sometimes, like, when I just don't want to go to work and I'm just like really frustrated with what's going on or whatever, like I'm just really frustrated, I just put out smoky quartz, and it just kind of, it numbs my emotions out, so I don't have to feel the negativity of my surrounding space. There is definitely, it doesn't absorb negative energy, it deflects it, but it also internally deflects yours. It like pushes it out, and it does that by kind of making you feel kind of a little bit one-noted, which sounds like it's kind of like being on medication, like crystal medication, but it comes in handy sometimes, because sometimes I just don't want to have any emotions to whatever it is that I'm doing when I'm there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's levels of like not giving a fuck that I just don't want to give, and so it keeps me on kind of an autopilot kind of thing. So yes. So lastly, the last thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is that I decided to do the workshop, because I was trying to plan out how I was going to do these videos. So instead of it being a video series, it's going to be a workshop. It's going to be a 3-part workshop. The links to the tickets will be down below. There are going to be range from donation tickets all the way up to just regular tickets, and tickets that include past life readings if you want to do that. Since we are going to be doing soulmate work, is going to be very deep work, and because it is soulmate work and it has layers and layers upon layers of information, is going to get taught a little bit differently. I'm going to teach that that course specifically through the Akashic Records. The ultimate end of it is gonna, since it's like a 6-part course, it is gonna be kind of like the equivalent of a book. It's gonna be a lot of information. We're gonna go through like twin flames. We're gonna go through kindred spirits. We're gonna go through false twins, false soulmates, false people. We're gonna go through how to best heal, how to manifest your soulmate. We're gonna go through it's an intensive course. So if you do want tickets, it's gonna be next month on the 31st, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, on the 31st. It's on Eventbrite. I'm gonna put the link down below. Book your tickets, because it's actually limited. It's going to be private, and it's gonna be like a private live video, and it's not going to be posted publicly. I'm not going to leave it on my YouTube afterwards. So it's important that if you guys want to do the course, to for sure join me on that journey. It's going to be a 3-part, so I'm going to let you guys know when the other 2 parts are coming out. Another one's going to be in the summer, and the next one will probably be in September. The last one, we will be doing some magical stuff. There will be soulmate meditations. It's just gonna be intense. Read through the Eventbrite bio to see all, like, some of the things that we're gonna cover, but it's gonna be really cool if you guys want to do the soulmate stuff, because I know that you guys have been hitting me up about this. I've gotten a lot of book readings asking about this. It's gonna be a lot of stuff. We're gonna do we're gonna talk about the Akashic Records with past lives. There's gonna be a lot of stuff. So yes, so if you want to be part of the soulmate workshop series that I'm doing and want to attend, link will be down below. Also, I am going to be posting my tattoo vlog, because I have one here and the other one is over here. This week, probably sometime tonight. I'm still editing it, so be patient with me. I'm still working on the music for the Sekhmet meditation, so also be patient with me. It's been a minute, but I was trying to plan out the soulmate workshop at least. So there's like a lot of stuff that I'm working on, so stay tuned. But thank you for I know I've gotten some more subscribers lately, so thank you so much for following me. Thank you so much for being part of this journey. More videos coming soon, so stay tuned for that. More vlogs coming soon as well. So yes, I'm also going to the Frida Kahlo exhibit today, so I don't know if you guys want me to vlog that, but I'm just gonna be kind of hanging out with the girls mostly. We'll see, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe. I love you guys.